Afternoon, everybody. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings.
So they're basically saying that every sighting that has been reported, they haven't been able to corroborate any of them. It's as if they didn't happen, or the people maybe saw a weather balloon or some other bullshit. I tell you, they send this man out just to do this, but I do believe he's trying to put us at ease. It's a very ignorant ass way of doing it. He's letting us know that they've looked into it, and it's much to do about nothing because it's our own shit. That's probably what the problem is. I mean, how do you tell the public, oh, those are our military drones out there, we're using them as probes, or we're using them to monitor, or we're using them to do whatever the hell they're doing, protect, who knows. But they don't, for whatever reason, don't want us to know, because it's got to be another element of this war that they're building. And they're building a war, and it's gonna happen, and this is probably just another element, a component in that step. And this guy right here is just out there waylaying us because, you know, Joe Biden doesn't have a whole lot of time to go in office, so he's got to lock the U.S. into a world war before he goes. Once he leaves, if he's done enough damage in these last weeks, then we can be in World War III, and it have nothing to do with what Donald Trump wants to do. It's going to be what we need to do to get out of this war or survive a war. With the technology on the planet right now, a war just, especially a huge world type war, makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense. This could be really bad. But those drones belong to the United States, I think. And the way this guy is talking, it's like, why'd he even come out? They could have just fucking let that Joan Pierre lady do it, because she's pretty good at lying. She's been lying for fucking 4 years. Let her finish.
To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace.
And they're not reported or confirmed by the U.S. government. But if you've seen a fucking drone and you know what a drone looks like, and you're reporting it and everybody else is saying you didn't see, you confirmed it. You don't need people to tell you everything. But in this case right here, he's using the word confirmed to make us believe until they say it's a drone, it ain't a drone. Well, people seen some shit. And maybe they aren't drones. Maybe they playing on words. Maybe the U.S. has some technology and it's up there hovering and doing some shit. I don't know. Maybe we're being misled and playing on words here. But maybe it's some shit that they just can't tell us yet. Or they choose not to. But I think we're racing toward a war, and that's part of the carefulness in letting information out, because it would look really bad for Joe Biden to drag us into a war after Kamala Harris loses the election, because that meant they were going to go into war anyway. They just didn't have to rush it, but now he's rushing it, and I think it's kind of obvious that he's rushing it. And anybody who don't think that we're moving toward a war with Biden here, and I don't understand, if he wanted to go to war, why didn't he do that shit under his administration? Why is he trying to drag this into someone else's shit? I just think it's the worst thing to do for a 79-year-old man. As old as he is, he needs to be winding it down and not ramping up anything, especially a war.
Basically, with what you're looking at, how can you credibly tell people that there is no public safety threat, there's no national security threat, that there's no reason to believe that a foreign government is involved?
Because the analysis thus far, in an investigation that is ongoing, has not revealed any national security or malicious intent or criminal.
Yeah, it's his shit. He's just sitting up there trying to play with words and waste their fucking time. It's the United States drones or flying phenomena or whatever they want to call them today. It's our shit.
Activity. But, Jackie, I would remind you, we're at the beginning here, not the end. There's a lot more work to be done, and we're working closely with state and local authorities to gain more information.
But the state and local authorities say you're not. The state and local authorities are in the dark. They're like, no, they're not telling us anything. So what state and local authorities these were? They're not working with anybody because they don't have to. They're the United States government, and I'll bet you them sheriffs and all those other folks have been given their orders not to be shooting at nothing. They don't have the authority to do that shit. And the United States government is running this. And they know what it is. That's why this dude ain't upset and nervous. That's why they're even having a press conference. Because they got it figured out because it's them.
I would argue that we're moving pretty well here with a sense of energy to try to figure out what we can do to learn more about this. We're still in the middle of an ongoing investigation, and I'm up here explaining to you and let you know what we know so far, what we believe so far. If information comes to light that changes that characterization, then my goodness, we'll be the first ones to let you know. But right now, there's just no indication that this is some sort of foreign malign activity or, in fact, even criminal.
Has the president...
There you go. It's not foreign and it's not criminal because it's us, once again. And this goddamn man, and she's on one today. She must have had some Starbucks or something, but it's getting them nowhere. Everybody else is falling asleep in that shit because they're not telling them anything, not telling us anything. Just pay attention, though, folks, because things will happen that they will have to get out to us, and they can only lie so long, and then the truth will backtrack to this, and it'll make perfect sense. It's not going to make perfect sense now because they don't want it to. They're not going to tell us anything. But I do like her vigor. She's very aggressive there and doing her job as a reporter. She got a ponytail up. She's ready to do the damn thing. They probably caught her last minute. They're going to tell us what the drones are. And she threw her ponytail up and came on down. And I think for her to be such a dedicated reporter, she deserves an answer, just like the American people.
The Secretary of Defense issued any guidance to NORTHCOM or military installations to act on these systems if they are deemed to be a threat in any way? And what's the benchmark for that determination?
I want to disabuse you of any notion that we're not taking this seriously, because we are. I can also tell you that if the president, as commander-in-chief, believed, based on the information that he'd been given, that there was a national security threat at play here, or even a public safety threat at play here, he would issue the appropriate directives to not only law enforcement, but perhaps even the military if that was needed.
Yeah, this is totally our shit. That's kind of cool, though. I mean, that it's not a big old deal in that regard, that we are under the like spotlight of being attacked and being helpless and being ignorant about it. They know. It's bad, though, the way this country runs, because we're a democracy and for the people, by the people, and all that, but the people know little of anything. Once you vote these people in, they're not even with you anymore. They go against you. And I just think it's a terrible goddamn thing for us to have the technology that we have, and for the average American not to be aware of that, and not to understand how we really govern and carry our weight abroad. I think the United States average citizen should know this. And in some cases, they really don't want to. It's kind of like a thing in America, out of sight, out of mind kind of a thing. But it'd be nice stuff to know and to be more concerned with. And I'll bet you if we had a more educated electorate, more people would not be sitting in office. And this guy here, people appointed like this, and folks are worried about Project 2025. If Project 2025 gets rid of people like that and brings in a whole new every time, then fuck it. If that's what it takes. People who spend 30 years just running the country while presidents come and go, and that's just like it's not a duopoly. It's like we have one government. They just take turns on us. I don't know. That's what I feel about it. But I think we got nothing to worry about as far as this, guys. I really do. We can relax. But just listen to his words. He ain't upset. He ain't nervous. And the only thing he's lying about is where those damn drones came from. He's lying about that shit because he know where they came from. So everything else after that is just, I don't know, whatever, fluff.
I want to go back to something I said at the top. There has been no evidence of any of this activity in or near restricted spaces.
Can you make that make more sense? Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
Certainly I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, my goodness, looking at this. And we're taking it seriously. We understand that people are concerned. We understand that they got questions. We got questions too. And we're working hard to get the answers to that. What I can tell you as we sit here today, at 2:16 in the afternoon on the 12th, is we haven't seen any indication thus far that there's a public safety risk. But that doesn't mean that,
That could change, but it's their shit right now. Now, why those things are there, I'd like to know, because they are either monitoring or are they armed? Are they attack type drone? Who knows? That excites me because I want to know what the fuck kind of technology we got. We pay for it. Shit. What our tax dollars, they should let us know. But he's not being honest. But I don't believe this New Jersey thing is going to be no big old thing. First, I was thinking, oh, shit. What if they start coming over every city in the United States? L.A., Pennsylvania. But I do hear that they are having sightings over other places. But it's United States drones probably doing some kind of protective work to see if they're picking up any kind of signals or something. I don't know. But them things are highly technological instruments. The United States government is controlling them, have built them, designed them, and shit, man, I just wish they'd let us in on it. It feels like such a bad thing to have people in the country panicking, especially in their residence, when the shit. If we know that's a part of our military defense, at least people could rest easy knowing what it is, as opposed to having no idea if it's even people going as far as to believe it could be coming from outer space or something. And that's totally unnecessary for people to have to bear. They should not even imagine or think of things like that. The government should keep us more grounded.
We're putting our pen down here this afternoon and calling it a day. We're going to keep at this.
Yeah. I hope that this gets worked out quick, because that ain't cool. I just think we're about to change administrations, and the Democrats always seem to be the most concerned about peaceful transfers of power and those type of things. And I don't think they should do anything to interrupt handing the baton off. If that's how they feel when receiving it, they should feel the same way when handing it off. And get back to your wonderfully moral ways, Democrats, that you've always had. Remember, when they go low, you go high, and all of that kind of stuff. Don't ever try to scrounge in the dirt and all that kind of stuff to prove anything to anybody. Every time you do that, it takes you out of your character. You're such a wonderful, high moral ground type of a yikes, that you guys should not have any problem at all taking the higher ground and doing the right thing and getting the hell out of the White House. Joe Biden, you should be in there packing up and stealing little mementos and gifts and things. There's some Trump stuff left behind you can probably get and sell on eBay, but you got to get out of there. And you guys got to not try to influence the direction of the country when you've lost. It's over with. At this point, relinquish the seat and let's see where we're going next. What's our next adventure? It doesn't seem like the Biden administration really cares about very much anything right now. They're just trying to wind this shit down and get out of there. And then, of course, they got some buttons to push on the way out to see how things wind up. Stay tuned. I don't know what to tell you, folks. Kamala Harris, where is she? That's our vice president. We might be at a place where the 25th Amendment might have to be invoked. We might have to remove Biden if he's going to be doing shit like this. If these are acts of war, now that's different. if they're protecting us. But it's like you're protecting us because you provoked Putin. You fired into Russia where Ukraine didn't have the capabilities. You gave them that capability and the training and the personnel. So, God damn it, you guys. We got to do better. We cannot let old people drag us in the war. I really believe if we can make it through this generation, the Nancy Pelosi's and that Blinken and all them fucking people, I really believe that if we can get through this generation, we can avoid a world war. I don't think that younger people had a stomach for it. These fucking people up there don't care because they got nothing. They got nothing. They just in power and they want to do something with it. And the only thing that they can do that you can't do is destroy the planet. And I think they're determined to goddamn do it. So we can fight these old ass people off and get them along their way. And you're going to need some old people like me to help you do it. But all old people ain't bad. You know, and all young people ain't fucking good. But you guys got to understand, the younger people get to pick the way this planet goes. They get to determine that. We had our opportunity. And we didn't do shit. We didn't do anything. Our whole generation is full of a bunch of fucking Jesse Jacksons and Al Sharptons and D.L. Hugleys and all these people who don't really represent us well. As Americans, as black people, as all kind of shit. And that's what we stuck with. But like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.